Hello, Legacy family. This is Coach Cecil Foster. I'm the fitness director here at Legacy Early College School, and I'm going to be putting together some tutorials on how to do some at-home workouts, or some workouts you can do really with not a lot of equipment or any equipment at all. Okay, so that's what the plan is, to set up a tutorial and to set up a library for our families and our scholars at home. Okay, so the first one we're going to start off with today is a simple but to me necessary exercise that is called the air squat. Okay, so you probably have heard about squats before. You see normally people in the gym have the big barbell on their back, or maybe you have the barbell in front of them in a front squat position. You can even hold a dumbbell or a kettlebell in front of you, or even if you're at home and say you don't have any weight available, we're going to use a gallon of milk, or if you have a kettlebell or dumbbell available, hold that in front of you, or anything you can kind of keep close to you. Okay? So since we don't all have access to a gym, it's an awesome opportunity to be able to do things at home, just what we have laying around the house. Okay? Even a paint can. I've even seen somebody use a paint can before. All right? So basically with a squat, what are we looking for in a squat? So for a squat, first off, the primary movers, the muscles that we want to work, we want to use in the squat, is we're going to be using our quadriceps, our thighs, the front of our legs right here, our hamstrings, all this back here, and also our glutes. Now, truly a squat is a full body exercise, meaning that we are really working everything. We're going to use our core to stabilize our upper body. We're keeping our shoulders back, so if we had a weight on our back, or we're holding a weight in front of us, we're using our shoulders to help stabilize that weight as well. So everything is working the squat. That's what makes it such a great exercise, and especially it helps burn a ton of calories and will keep you in great shape, okay? So as far as form and technique goes, just for a simple air squat, is I want to have my feet right underneath my armpits, or maybe slightly wider. So you'll hear people say shoulder width, or a little bit wider. And so the best way I can describe that for most people is, I tell people, if you were to say you decide you want to jump. So if you want to jump up in the air, okay, your feet, wherever you jump, wherever you land, about there is where you want to have your feet set to squat. Now some people do need to go wider, and that's fine, that's okay. So for the most part though, in general for most of us, about shoulder width or armpit level, or a little bit wider, okay? So we gotta make sure our feet are wide enough so we can get these hips, our pelvis here, down in between our ankles. So if our feet are too close, it's gonna make it really hard for us to do that. We're kind of fighting our own body, okay? So I wanna go feet, again, shoulder width or slightly wider. As far as where should your toes point? Well, that's really up to your body mechanics. And what I mean by that is basically your morphology, how your body's built. So some people can squat with their toes completely straight. Some people have to pronate those toes or turn those toes out slightly, just like this. So you have to kind of find what feels best for you and what is safe for you, okay? In general, for me, for example, I squat kind of close. So my feet are right underneath my hips right here, and my toes are slightly turned out. So my feet are kind of close when I squat. They're not super wide. All right, so what is happening in the squat is this. Once I get those feet established, I tell people I want to try to grab the floor with my feet. So I want to grab the floor with my toes with my feet and engage them as much as I can. Think about it like this. A tree grows from what? The roots up, the ground up. So I'm going to grab that floor with my feet, all right? Digging my big toe into the floor, okay? And keeping my foot nice and flat on the ground. So as I go to come down on my squat, I'm really keeping my weight right over the center of my foot the entire time, okay? And I want to make sure I can feel that floor. So I'm grabbing my toes, or taking my toes and grabbing the floor, all right? So once I get that established, get my feet established, next thing that's going to happen is I got to think about my hips and my knees here, okay? So when we squat, and what we want to do is we're actually driving our hips back and pushing our knees forward all at the same time. So we're literally doing all those actions at the same time, all right? So a good way to think about it is imagine you got a rope around the back of your legs pulling your knees this way, and another rope right here around your waist pulling your hips and your butt back this way, okay? So we're doing that at the same time. So once I get those feet set, here we go. I'm going to drive my hips and my butt back, push my knees forward all at the same time. So once I'm set, I'm going to drive those knees forward, hips and butt are coming back. I'm gonna come down nice and smooth, just like this. Now look at my knees. My knees have turned out slightly, and they're creating room now for my hips to get nice and low. So I wanna make sure my knees aren't doing this. They're sitting out just like that. Once I get down what we call parallel, which is about 90 degrees here at the knee, and get my hips nice and low, then I'm just gonna drive through my big toe and stand right up just like that, okay? So from the side, it'll look like this. Once I get my feet set, grab my floor. Again, I'm gonna drive my hips back, pushing my knees forward, coming down nice and smooth. Boom, right there, parallel, okay? So, look at my feet. They're staying nice and flat on the floor. I'm not up on my toes. My toes aren't coming off the floor. I'm staying nice and flat on my foot. My hips are nice and low, right there. It is okay for your knee to travel past your toe, as long as you're getting those hips nice and low and you're keeping your feet flat. And then just standing straight up, all right? Now, that is the air squat. And if you want more technical things you can look into with that, just let me know. Y'all shoot me an email and I'll try to help you out as best I can. As far as footwear when squatting, I do prefer people, especially in the beginning, to wear a nice flat shoe or to actually take their shoes off and just do their socks. So running shoes sometimes is really disadvantageous for us. They don't help us because they're so squishy, they're so soft. So typically a nice good flat pair of shoes or just socks would be great. All right, so that is the air squat. How many sets and reps should you do? It really comes down to your level of fitness. For some people, you may really need to start off with like 2 sets, maybe 8 or 10 reps, and then eventually move up to 3 sets, and then 4 sets, and so on. You can get up to even 5 sets. Especially with air squats, we can do more repetitions just simply because we don't really have any weight to us. So if we want to add weight to us, we can take, right now I have a little dumbbell right here. We can either take a gallon of milk, or if you have a dumbbell or kettlebell laying around the house, and hold it right here in front of you just like this. We call this a goblet squat. And I would do the exact same thing I was doing before with my squat. So for now, I'm holding my weight, holding it close to me, shoulders back, chest out. Once I get those feet set, again, driving my hips back, pushing my knees forward, coming down nice and smooth, and then standing up, okay? Now, what if you say, Coach, I can't go that low? That's fine, work on it. So it means go as low as you can right now, but work on trying to get yourself as low as I was, getting that 90 degrees down there at my knee and then my hips. So basically we say this is our hip seam. So I'm getting my hips nice and low right there, and got my knees right here, about 90-degree angle there, maybe a little bit more, and my hips nice and low just like that, okay? And if you have to stop here, that's fine, but you just want to kind of work on that, okay? Try to work on getting yourself a little bit lower each time. So ladies and gentlemen, that is the air squat. Have a great day. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being strong, and I'll catch you later.